Happy Devil's Wednesday. This is the State of the Fan Address, episode 273, presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with the editor-in-chief extraordinaire, Nick Villano, from his bunker studios in South Jersey. I'm in the North Jersey bunker studios, where if something big happened, the meteors, showers hit the earth, there's dust cover, the apocalypse, you'd have cockroaches, you'd have taxes, and you'd have the State of the Fan Address and the Let's Go Devils podcast left on the face of the earth. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, $22 a month premium subscription on X Live, but free for you, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Alan Cosman says, is it cold down there in the bunker somewhere in New Jersey, Sam? Question mark. No, we have.
Well, I'm in the South Jersey bunker.
Yeah. We have
and it was a nice day. It was, what do they call this? False fall. This was a nice false fall day.
It felt like football weather. It felt like college football.
It was nice.
Weather.
It was nice. It got hot towards the end of the day, but it was nice.
Oh, it was beautiful. But somehow I found myself working indoors during my day job. What about you, Nick? Do you work indoors?
I do. Yeah. So I was. I'm still on my. We had a special guest come today, so we all went out after work. So that's why I'm still in the.
Were you butt kissing? Down. Were you butt kissing?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I'm trying to get them big boy jobs, Sam. I'll pucker up.
You and I should talk off air because I'm not very good at kissing up. I'm not. I'm kind of like sometimes I just can't keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, but it's not even about that. It's about making your opinion matter, right? And if you speak up and speak for your people when you believe in it, people think kissing up is about saying things you don't believe, and backing people when you don't believe them. That's not necessarily it. It's about when you really believe in somebody, like having the gravitas to back them in places of power, and then they'll do the same for you. I say I treat my job like the play Hamilton, right?
No,
I want three things. I don't know if these are like three of the main songs. It's I want people to know my name.
Uh-huh.
I want to never be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be in the room where it happens.
Mm-hmm.
If people know your name, well, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but you still want them to know your name. You want people to know you exist. You want to never be satisfied. You want to be known as the person that will go above and beyond. You want to be known, even if you don't truly are that person that's never satisfied, you want the perception that you are that person that will never be satisfied and you will always go above and beyond. You want to be in the room where it happens. When decisions are made, you don't have to make the decisions. But you want people to want you there. You want people to at least know that decisions are happening and that you can say something if you want. Again, people always misunderstand this, that you have to give your opinion. Not necessarily. You just have to be available for your opinion. And when people make you available for your opinion in those major decision-making places, then you're doing well. But again, that could be taken away if you always give your opinion. So it's a fancy give and take. But yeah, the three.
You're living the high life. But nobody cares about my opinion where I work. Anyway.
Listen, people have trouble with the happy medium. Some people just lay there and get run over, and some people pound the table too often. I've been working really hard to find that happy medium. So just for example, you're kind of like my boss in a very strange way. You made a suggestion. Nick, you look better with 2 jerseys. Well, look behind me. I
Wow.
got 2 jerseys.
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna voice my opinion more often, like all the time. I'll be that guy.
But again, you didn't straight up ask me to get 2 jerseys. You just made a comment, and I made it happen, right? So I'm never satisfied until everybody's satisfied. So anyway,
why don't you tell the audience the truth? After the podcast last week, I said, Nick, if you don't get another jersey on there, we're gonna have to end this podcast.
He was talking about boots on the throat. He was going full North Jersey mobster on me.
Yeah. But
speaking of North Jersey mobster, let's talk about offer sheets. Let's talk about the backdoor dealings we saw this week with the St. Louis Blues and the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers lost 2 young, very important. I don't want to say very important, but these are 2 players that had a role in their run to the Stanley Cup final this year, especially Broberg. Like, Broberg had time with Darnell Nurse in the Stanley Cup final, and now he's in St. Louis. You know, and they only got a couple of draft picks for it, players. You know, and vis-a-vis, how does this impact the Devils? I know that, like, the main thing is people are talking about Dawson Mercer, but truly I think this is it as far as offer sheets. What it does do for Dawson Mercer is, like, Dawson Mercer's a lot better than Dylan Holloway. But, so, is he going to, I think, what did Dylan Holloway get? Like $2.5 million, something in that range. So you're not going to get away with that. Maybe, I still think we're looking at like a 3.13, a 3.25, somewhere like in that range on a 3-year deal. I think that's what Dawson Mercer's going to end up with. I think he's holding out for more. I think on a 3-year deal he wants 4, but he's not going to get it because the Devils just can't afford that. And then on a 2-year deal, I don't think he wants to sign a 2-year deal. He wants a little bit of, or maybe he does. Maybe he wants a 1-year deal. Maybe he's like, I'm coming off a bad season. You're coming off paying a lot of money to a lot of people. Let me wait till the cap goes up, but I don't think so. I don't think he's going to go the Jesper Bratt route. If you remember Jesper Bratt, sign that 1-year deal. I also don't think the Devils want to do that. I off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't know when Dawson Mercer is arbitration eligible. I don't know if it's next year or the year after. But the Devils don't do arbitration. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. Like last year, they put their gravitas on the table and said, we'll let you go be free agents then. And Mike McLeod and Nathan Bastian immediately resigned. You know, they let them walk because they didn't want to deal with arbitration. And I don't think he would do that with Dawson Mercer because Dawson Mercer's just a better player. I was surprised he did it with McLeod, but I think he knew there was at least a risk that what happened, that what ended up happening.
Of course. I mean, they could have had twin deals, but it wasn't a twin deal. One got 1 year, one got 2, just for that reason. There's no other reason to do that. After coming off of a very solid year, especially getting the game-winning goal, Game 7 against the New York Rangers in that first round, Game 7. But yeah,
I'm not a.
Go ahead.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I am.
It isn't. Something doesn't smell right that all 5 of those guys. Well, 4 of the 5 guys. One guy was playing overseas, but 4 of the 5 guys, all 4 of the guys in the NHL were on the last year of the contract. Like something doesn't smell right with that to me. But
you know, it's wild. Just a random topic. You know, I'm a frequent. I won't say a frequent shopper, but more of I frequent Facebook Marketplace, and I was just scrolling. Then I just increase my geographic presence because I'm looking for a specific item, a 95 Jeep Wrangler 5-speed 4.0 6-liter.
David Decker, where you at?
No, he's Town Toyota in beautiful Edgewood, New Jersey.
I feel like people trade in Jeeps all the time.
Well, you know what? That's true. I should go to David Decker, Town Toyota, in beautiful Edgewood, New Jersey, Route 46. Go to David Decker. Tell him Sam Wu and Nick Villano sent you. But I want this 95 Jeep Wrangler. And then I start scrolling and looking in Philadelphia. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if these people are legit. And then suddenly I saw this. I think there were like 6 or 7 Carter Hart jerseys. Like fire sale. And I was like, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I just want
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Here's, again, not trying to do like conspiracy theories, but like, it's hard for me to believe that nobody knew anything. Like from the teams, just like, do I think that the Devils re-signed McLeod knowing he was getting arrested? No. I actually have inside information about how surprised they were when he was arrested on that night. It's pretty well known that he skipped out on a team event at the last minute, and they just he told them there's word out there that he told them that he was sick, and everybody went along their merry way. Like, oh, okay, like Tom Fitzgerald did a press conference that day. Do you remember that?
I remember. I mean, it came out of nowhere, but we were kind of expecting it. I think
the one guy got arrested first. So McLeod didn't come out of nowhere, but that guy did, right? He got put on leave. Was it Doobie? Dylan Doobie?
Yeah, it's up in Calgary, I believe.
Yeah.
But honestly, Nick, if you were the New Jersey Devils, okay, I don't think you need any information. You know, there's so much information publicly that's been confirmed to even say, look, we got to mitigate our liability here and have a 1 year out minimum.
You think Flyers are doing that with Carter Hart? I thought Carter Hart was in the clear. Like, I thought somebody had said
but wasn't it a previous regime that made that move before Danny Briere? Probably. Was it Chuck Fletcher?
I don't know.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
So now.
But they didn't give him an extension.
Mm-hmm.
And he's their starting goalie, and he's young. But again, like, I don't know. I don't want to get into this too far because it's irrelevant. Like, they're all playing in Russia or something, or Kazakhstan.
Now, how does that work? Because he's allowed out of the country?
It's up to the courts.
Okay. I figured he'd have to turn in his passport. I thought they turned in their passports. But did they give him back?
No, you only turn it. Well, so I don't know how Canada works. In the U.S., you don't turn in your passport. No matter how high the crime, if you only have to turn in your passport if you are deemed a flight risk. And if you're deemed a flight risk, you might not get bail anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anybody cares about like these little things on a hockey podcast, but yeah, it's you could leave the country. There's plenty of people who have business, these white collar crimes, and they have business in England and China and Japan and Australia and all these other places, and they can travel there if the judge allows. There's what do they say? There's more than one way to skin a cat, which is a very strange saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the court system works. Like, it's not. There are some black and white things, and then there's a lot of gray area, and bail is a very big gray area. I don't know how Canada works, but I would assume it's the same way. Very big gray area for bail.
Well, I do want to get on topic.
Okay.
Hughes on the cover. All three. EA Sports 25. Hey, could I be a voiceover guy? EA
Hey,
Sports.
listen. EA Sports.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
EA Sports. Yeah.
Surprisingly, Sam, Devils have been pretty prominent on the cover of video games.
Scott Stevens?
Stevens has been on the cover of 2. He was on the cover of NHL Hits, and then I think it was him and Shanahan on the cover of NHL 96.
That was a great game. NHL
Hits is probably my favorite NHL game ever.
Yeah.
Hits 2002. That exact game. So much
Yep.
fun. The creation suite was so fun. Like I made me and all my friends as a hockey team, and that was so fun.
I played on the Nintendo GameCube. That game.
I think I had a PS2.
PS2. I had that.
Yeah,
as
I think
well.
it was PS2.
Yeah, I had that as well.
But if you remember, Brodeur was on NHL 14,
Mm-hmm.
and he won a fan vote.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a surprise. I thought he didn't have that kind of gravitas, but people seemed to like Brodeur, so he won a fan vote. Did you know that Patrick Elias was on the cover of games that they sold in Czechia?
No.
They switched out the cover in Czechia to put Patrick Elias on the cover of NHL 09 and a couple others.
Which NHL do you think is the best of all time?
Oh, everybody says 95. I really liked NHL 09.
No, it's not. I thought it was 94. Everybody says.
It was 94.
Yeah, I think the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I outside of the sound, I loved Blades of Steel. Blades of Steel was fun.
Oh, Blades of Steel. I even like ice hockey, Nintendo ice hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stack it up with all fat guys.
Yeah.
I'm all about the beef.
That part was fun. That part, like building the team, that was fun.
Yeah.
But I loved NHL 09. ESPN Hockey, I think 2K5, so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. I think Martin St. Louis was on the cover of that one.
Well, you know what's wild is the EA Sports. Like, I talked to Bill Clement about it, good friend of the podcast, name dropping again. And there was one, like, I remember going to his shows and meeting the fan base. You got the older fan base that loved him on ESPN, and then you had the younger fan base that loved him on the EA Sports games before NBC took over and Doc Emmerich was the voice. And,
Yeah.
and they used to record in Tampa. I believe it was in Tampa, the EA studios.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. Him and Gary Thorne. So it was kind of interesting that, you know, a lot of fans, that younger fans, grew up on Gary Thorne and Bill Clement without ever watching him, both of them, call play-by-play for ESPN, but on video games.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it's kind of wild. But yeah, I mean that's a great honor. I mean, how often do you have three brothers? I mean, the Stahl brothers, you know, but they came kind of over time a little bit. They're kind of spread out versus the Hughes brothers. It's like 1, 2, 3, boom. They're all in the NHL.
So people were up in arms last year when Jack Hughes wasn't on the cover. And I said they're waiting for Luke. I said this last year. I wrote about it. It's in print, Sam. I called this. I said EA Sports wants all three. And Luke Hughes has played a total of like 5 NHL games at that point. You can't put him on the cover of the game. And some would argue he still should be on the cover of the game, right? He hasn't done it. Like Kel McCarr was on the cover last year, one of the best defensemen in the league. And, you know, you have the Austin Matthews of the world, the Connor McDavids. You know, those are the types of people that are going on the cover of these games. And now you have Luke Hughes, who's third in Rookie of the Year voting. But it's because his brother is the reigning Vezina Trophy winner and one of the most explosive and popular players in the game, Jack Hughes.
Norris.
Wait, what did I say?
It's
Norris. Sorry.
Yep. Long day.
My brain don't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, Norris Trophy winner and Quinn Hughes, and then one of the most explosive players in the game, Jack Hughes. So, you know, yeah, he's getting a little bit of a bump, and I'm sure he's getting paid, right? You got to be paid if you're the cover athlete, right?
Yeah. I wonder if Ellen gets a 10%, royalty out of it.
I mean, listen, I'm sure she's getting the fruits of her labor.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Quite
especially when their dad is their agent.
Yeah. I think they're all doing just fine.
Yeah.
And they seem to be like, I don't want to say mama's boy. I feel like that's a pejorative term, but Ellen Hughes is doing just fine. She's taken care of, and she deserves it. Ellen Hughes is so talented, and is a big reason why those kids got the talent they have.
We got to get Ellen on the podcast. She is the MVP of the New Jersey Devils right now, giving us hope.
Listen. Maybe when they sign Quinn, or they trade for Quinn, we'll get Ellen Hughes.
Do you think Quinn would actually jump ship at this point?
Oh yeah,
Vancouver.
100%. Oh yeah, they're gonna pick a place to play. I'm telling you, Sam. Everything is going to be told by Luke Hughes' next contract.
Yeah.
Let me double check something. Because I don't think Quinn signed for the maximum, right? Like the maximum years.
I think it was 7 years, $51 million. Was it?
Okay. It was 6 years, $47 million.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to see when it ends. I believe it ends in 2027. Am I saying that right? Yeah. So it ends in 2027. That doesn't seem like that far away. Am I crazy?
That's not far away.
Jack Hughes' contract doesn't until 2030. My thought is it'll be very telling if Luke Hughes signs a 6-year deal. If Luke Hughes signs a 5-year deal, a 5-year extension, because Luke Hughes is signed next year. Because if he signs a 5-year extension, on paper, it looks like one of those typical like even or deals. Like you think the cap is going to go up, you think you're going to be an even better player, you think you'll be at the top of the market, and then the team gets some risk aversion, right? Like you're not stuck with, God forbid Luke Hughes gets really injured or doesn't live up to what we think he's going to be or whatever. But if he signs for 5 years, that means his and his brother's contracts are going to end at the same time. And they'll both be, I believe they'll both be, yeah, they have to be. They both will be unrestricted free agents. Now, Quinn could either go to free agency and sign for 3 years in New Jersey, or he could sign 3 years in Vancouver and let all three become free agents at the same time when they're both when all three of them will be up for their last huge contract, and they could sign with one team 8 years, the maximum. It all depends on what matters to them, right? We all want to pretend that these guys should only sign to teams that are going to win them the Stanley Cup. But look at Tyler Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli signed for the money. The Sharks gave him the bag. They're like, you're going to grow our team. And, I'm sure he wants to live in Southern California. San Jose's in Southern California, right? Like real Southern?
No, it's...
Is it Northern? Or like middle? I know it's not Northern.
I think it's middle.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, he wants to live in California. I'm sure it's close to the beach.
It's near San Francisco.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sorry, I'm not keen on California geography like I should be, but I know Los Angeles is pretty far down there. I know
the only reason why I know is I had to go to a wedding in Santa Clara.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I know.
Does San Jose have an airport, or do you just go to San Francisco?
I believe I just went to San Francisco. I believe San Jose does have an airport, but San Francisco, I mean, that city was actually, I was sick, so I didn't really get the tour. So I actually was like in the hotel room sick while the rest of the family went out, and then going up to Santa Clara, the San Jose area. I did get to see the arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but don't go to Walmart at 2 a.m. in the morning. You know why I had to go
Okay.
to you know why I had to go to Walmart at 2 a.m. in the morning?
What'd you forget?
Well, going to a wedding, I need those cufflinks. I didn't have any, so I'm like, oh,
Oh.
well, who probably sells it? I don't know. A day before a wedding. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Walmart, and let me tell you, out in that neck of the woods, Walmart 2 a.m. in California, which is 5 a.m. Eastern time, is a totally different world, let me tell you. A lot of characters, a lot of interesting people shopping at that Walmart.
The people of Walmart are just on standby, just so they could take pictures.
Well, another Walmart I went to 3 a.m. This was another one. I had a gig. I had an awesome gig down in St. Louis. I actually acquired, believe it or not, the rights to 4 NCAA games to stream live. I actually acquired the rights to it. I want to toot my horn a little bit.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
we're supposed to stream it. And what happened was, somebody's knee hit the graphics card and broke it. And it's not like it was something I can get overnight. And Amazon Prime was not like prevalent then. So guess where I went to 3 a.m. Walmart, somewhere in Missouri. I went to a Walmart. And let me just tell you, there were a lot of interesting people there as well. Carrying an $1,800 computer in the middle of nowhere with a lot of interesting people in the middle of the night was never a good thing. But anyway. Yeah. I short-term leased that computer, by the way. I bought it in Missouri. Somewhere, and I returned it at a Walmart in New Jersey. Anyway, I know we're going a little off tangent, but it is the off season, Nick, because we got a lot going on next month as we head into preseason, which I would say is less than a month away, or at least training camp. Lots of stuff is going to be happening after Labor Day. Just to folks, we went a little light this summer. I mean, I had my medical issues and life, and we've been doing this podcast, as we're heading into 1 million downloads this upcoming season. We're going to have a big party, all that. I know pucksandpitchforks.com is killing it this summer, right, Nick? Just absolutely killing
Listen, I've heard through the grapevine that some of the other places are struggling. We're not really struggling. And I appreciate the fans. There's not a lot to talk about, but I've been talking. I put an interesting article up today. 5 guys, Sam. Hey, are we doing plugs already? Are we already there?
Yeah, we're doing plugs. We want to do plugs because without plugs, I don't know.
The water will get out.
Yeah.
5 players you didn't even realize left. They left under your nose. And some of them didn't make much of an impact on the NHL team or some of them were in trades that you didn't realize they got taken away from. And some just kind of left without some fanfare. So 5 players you didn't realize that left the New Jersey Devils this offseason. We also have Vinny Parisi doing a series. We love a series, Sam. But Vinny Parisi's doing a series. The 15, 10 and 5 most important people in the New Jersey Devils organization. Who's going to lead to the wins? And Sam, we didn't talk about this, but Tyler Dello, former executive in the Devils, just got a major promotion as the assistant general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think that's it. I don't think he's the only major executive that's going to be out and about for the New Jersey Devils. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But so he's talking about the 15 most important people. Every day, a new article. His most recent one, Martin Brodeur. Most important people.
Wow, we lost you there for a second.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. And then Luke Garrison's he's counting down the season. So every day he's taking a number. So I think it's 43 today, 44. And sometimes it's a player that's number 44. Sometimes it's a stat that's important. That's 44. Sometimes it's, there's a lot of significant numbers, but it's taking something from that significant number, and it's equating it to the amount of days left until the season starts. So that's happening right now. And Amanda, she's new, so I don't remember her last name. I think it's Streeter. But Amanda, brand new writer Amanda, did a fantastic piece. Talked to some of our fans and talked about the importance of building a fan base through non-traditional fans. You know, the women, the non-binary, the diverse fan base. And the reason why Jack Hughes is bringing a lot of these fans together, the reason why this team is bringing this team together, just how this team acts, how this team moves forward with everything, and why it's leading to more full buildings, and why it's leading to a larger fan base overall. It's building fans all across the country and all across the world. She did a great job on that piece. That's on pucksandpitchforks.com right now. Go read Amanda's piece.
Wow. I got something to plug.
Plug away.
JoinOurCrew.com. People are still signing up. We had that website out since the Stadium Series game. It worked out so well when we had to mobilize, losing our parking spot. Losing our parking spot, Nick, after we promoted it for weeks. All the research we did, all the planning, everything was thrown out of the window because they had sharpshooters at the MetLife Stadium rooftop. So what did we do? In 11 minutes, on our phone, Short Sky and I got the graphic and the email blasts, and bam, we had a party. So go to joinourcrew.com, sign up, and we'll let you know where we'll be next. Although this podcast is going to be traveling this year. It's going to be something else. Yeah.
We're grooving.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We gotta strategize, but there's just a lot going on, man.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank all those tuning in live, dropping the podcast at midnight as the Let's Go Devils podcast continues during this offseason, because there is no offseason. Battle-tested, even talking Devils hockey with no Devils hockey for 9.5 months during the heart of the world pandemic. We are battle-tested, Nick. We can talk all day Devils hockey. Keep it here, keep it real. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com as well. Till next time, let's go Devils.